Just got done watching the Chainsaw Man movie, and by goodness, it was probably one of the greatest pieces of cinemas that I have ever seen. But I can understand right now that Chainsaw Man is probably not going to be a series that a lot of people are going to get wildly into or going to become a global phenomenon. There's three reasons behind this. One, it is not your typical anime. I have discovered this upon watching it in full now. It is not in any capacity your typical anime. Most anime have a lot of fan service and a lot of girly and giddy stuff, but this one doesn't have that in any capacity. I understood this because of point two. There are no named attacks, period. In most shows, there's Kamehameha, Rasengan, Bankai, something of that variety. There's not a single named attack in all of Chainsaw Man, period. And then the third reason, it expects you to understand the story without it spelling it out for you, which is going to leave a lot of people left in the dark. It doesn't give you this crazy, lengthy exposition about everything. It just lets the story happen organically. And I love stories that do this because they don't feel like anime, they feel as if they are something deeper than that. What anime I feel was supposed to be. So, I'm gonna talk about how I felt about the movie, and I'm just gonna give my breakdown of everything I felt during the movie. So, I just want to talk about the characters actually. Denji doesn't feel love for Makima. Denji here does not feel love for Makima in any capacity. Love requires a foundation, a sense of self, a baseline understanding of what it means to be a person. Denji has none of that. He is a creature of pure, unadulterated wants, a walking, talking hunger that has been sharpened by a lifetime being treated as less than an animal. His love for Makima is the logical, devastating endpoint of a soul that has been systematically starved of every single nutrient required for human dignity. He gets nothing. Think about his landscape. His childhood wasn't just poor, it was completely feral. Scavenger's existence. It was disgusting. His only inheritance was a debt paid in blood and viscera. His only companions were the chainsaw devil, which is Pochita, and the gnawing emptiness in his own gut. He didn't just lack love, he lacked the very concept of anything. Period. He just knew how to struggle. He didn't dream of a girlfriend, he dreamed of putting jam on his bread. Girlfriend was so far out of his league that he didn't even consider it. His entire life has been a screaming, desperate negotiation for the next minute of survival. A kind world isn't just out of his reach. It doesn't exist. It is sad. It rewires his entire reality. Makima didn't offer him affection. She offered him a new operating system for his life, one where he got to be a person instead of a tool. Of course he latched on. A drowning man doesn't critique the splintered quality of the life raft. This isn't romance in any capacity. He is in a hostage situation and he is thanking his captor. He is Stockholm Syndrome immediately, and it sucks. It really does. It's the ultimate preservation of care. Denji doesn't love Makima for who she is. He loves her for the whole hollow she feels. She is the first hand that didn't hit him, the first voice that didn't scream, the first promise of a future that wasn't just more of the same grinding, bloody poverty. He is the ultimate stray dog, and she is the first person who didn't just throw a rock. And that's great. That's great. That's outstanding. But it's really genuinely sad to witness this. And one thing I really enjoy is the scene where they're watching the movies and they find the movie where she cries. Now, there are many interpretations you can make of this scene. Personally, I like to believe that Makima is faking it and showing Denji that he is allowed to cry because Makima saw Denji begin to cry and then she cried in accordance with him. But I also want to believe that Makima was actually crying because she is also bored. Same bored as Denji. I want to believe that in some capacity. I know she doesn't. She's unnecessarily cruel. She's very twisted. She's messed up. But I want to believe in some small part of me that she is less cruel than that. But that is not true. The whole movie is becoming a slave to his desire. He is becoming a slave to what he wants. And this is the great issue of being human, right? You get what you want and then you want more. I remember for so long, all I wanted to hit was 10,000 subscribers. Well, now I want to hit 100,000. And then I want to hit 200,000. And now at this point, I kind of want to hit 1 million. But after that, well, I want to hit 5 million or 10 million. It's the want of endless desire. That is what we are, slaves to our desire. And I think of this line all the time. It is from Vinland Saga. Askeladd said, Everyone is a slave to something, whatever it may be. Who knows what it could be? Before Makima, his only desire was to not die. She introduces him to a new lexicon, the desire for good food, for a soft bed, for a touch that doesn't wound. She dangles these, not as gifts, but as rewards. And for a boy who has never understood transactional relationships, will kill this devil, pay down that debt. This makes perfect, tragic sense. Obedience for affection, performance for validation. He thinks he's learning to love, but he's just learning a more sophisticated form of servitude. He's trading his old visible chains for new invisible ones, and he calls it progress because the new chains come with a smile. The true gut-wrenching genius of his character is his brutal, unflinching honesty. He never lies to himself. Never. He never lies about what he wants. Oh, I want ChainSaw. Yeah, I want boobies. Yeah, it's great. Yeah. He doesn't cloak it in poetry or grand romance. He says it plainly. She's pretty. She's nice to me. She gives me things. That's it. I love it. I love it. I think everybody sees Denji, at least his character, as simple and even stupid, but it's the opposite. It is the actual opposite. You wish you could be as raw and unfiltered as Denji. It's the raw, unfiltered cry of a human being who has been denied every basic building block of a psyche. His yearning isn't simple. It's elemental. It's the yearning of a void, and it is bottomless. He mistakes control for care because he has never experienced care without control. His worth has always been conditional on his utility. Remember in the beginning of the series, he was having to prove he was worthy to his father's creditors. He was worth only the organs he could sell to the Yakuza. He was worth only the devils he could kill. So when Makima values him for his power, it feels familiar. It feels like home. Same reason why people go back to their abusive ex, because they feel it as if it's familiar. They can feel the same familiar pain. That's what it is. That's familiar. He wants to be needed because this is the only way he has ever known how to be kept. The idea that someone might value him for his inherent self is an abstraction so vast and alien, he couldn't even conceive it. So no, Denji doesn't need Makima. He needs what she pretends to represent. He needs the unconditional warmth he never felt. I think this is what makes it so much harder to get through the next part of the movie, because I love the cinematography, I love the fighting, I love the beauty of how intricately the Bomb Devil used all of it. Bomb Girl, all that stuff, Bomb Woman, whatever it may be. I enjoy that. Denji falling in love with the Bomb Devil is so good. It's so tragically beautiful. It's a brief, blinding collision of chaos, innocence, destruction, and something that almost felt like freedom. It wasn't even a relationship built on years, even deep understanding. It was built on possibility. The potential of what could be, on what it could have been if the world hadn't already carved scars into both of them before they ever met. Is a love story so soaked in blood and loneliness and delivered with explosions and shark tackles, and somehow, in spite of all the absurdity, the fact that we got every goofy dude bro nonsense, all the stupidness, somehow it hurts. I was crying in the movie theater. Denji wasn't chasing somebody. She came to him, even if it was a little bit manipulative. It wasn't like the others. Not like Makima with her leash, or not like the cold world that saw him as a tool. The Bomb Devil came with flowers, with awkward laughter, with genuine curiosity. She offered him a slice of something fragile, something almost human, a quiet cafe, a night swim, a smile that wasn't condescending, and Denji, whose life has been nothing but hunger in every form, didn't know what to do with gentleness. So he did what he always does. He let himself believe. And then came the fight, the reveal, the betrayal that everyone saw coming except Denji himself, because it wasn't a hidden secret that the Bomb Devil was the Bomb Devil. Hope makes you blind in the most devastating way. And what followed was a symphony. There was chainsaws, there was Shark Devil, there was explosions. Oh my god. If you say that to a 10-year-old boy, it's got chainsaws and sharks and explosions, seems goofy. But it was so... The absurdity was only to mask the pure beauty of what it was. It was a theater of madness and affection and desperation. Dumb guy, slapstick, layered over romance that never got to bloom. It was Looney Tunes painted over a gravestone.
beautiful in its absurdity and painful in its precision. At certain key moments in the fight, you could tell that Denji wasn't just fighting her, he danced with her. That's what made it art. He'd held back, he smiled through it. He asked questions mid-fight like a child trying to hold a burning toy. He didn't want to hurt her. Every time, despite the way he said it, "Oh, it's a shame to hurt such a sexy leg." Every time he didn't want to be alone again, and the bomb devil, through all her manipulation, through all her training and duty and cold intent, hesitated, and her hesitation became a full stop. It wasn't even because she fell in love, but because she almost did. And almost is what kills the hardest. Almost is never enough. It was the kind of love that could only exist in a broken world. Two people who don't know how to be people playing pretend for just long enough to break each other's hearts. It was a love born from wounds held together by lies and shattered by everything they couldn't say. They fought because they had to, but underneath every punch, every explosion, every shark leaping out of a building, there was an aching beat of what if? What if she stayed? What if he ran with her? What if for once two broken things could make a whole? The beauty of what it is, we'll never know. We'll never know. And that's what makes it linger. Their love wasn't just doomed, it was denied, cut short, torn from them by the very system that molded them both into weapons. It wasn't just a fight, it was a farewell to what they never had the chance to become. And what makes it even more poetic is how dumb and juvenile most of it was. Because that's all they know is how to be juvenile. Honest in their stupidity. That's what it was. Denji flailing around with his goofy charm beam, the shark fiend, crashing through buildings as if he was a golden retriever on bath salts, just nuts, saying, "Yay, praise Chainsaw man, praise Chainsaw!" Explosions timed like punchlines. It was silly, it was anime, but it was also real. It was how teenage heartbreak feels. Like a cartoon in your chest that turns into a funeral. You laugh, cry, bleed, repeat. That was the fight. So goofy. All on top of the tragic loss of life that was going around. Denji's desire has always made him a prisoner, but with her, for the first time, there was honesty. He told her what he wanted. He told her how she made him feel, and for a flicker of a second, she stopped being a weapon. She stopped being a bomb. She just became a girl. A girl who wore a bomb like perfume. A girl who might have kissed him in another life. A girl who, when she said goodbye, didn't smile because it hurt, because it was real. And that's what makes it so unbearable and so precious. It didn't last. It couldn't last. But it meant something. It was chaotic and ugly and dazzling and short-lived, just like everything in Chainsaw Man. Just like Denji's whole existence. But in that chaos, they carved a moment of human connection so raw that even the explosions felt quiet for a second. That's love. That's war. That's what it means to want something you know you'll never get. They weren't meant to be, but they almost were. And that almost will echo longer than any perfect ending ever could. If you want my review of the movie, it hurt. It was a beautiful movie. As Datara so accurately said in Naruto Shippuden, it was an explosion. Hence the title of the video. Chainsaw Man movie was an explosion. That's the title of the thing. Anyways, that's the end of the review. The rest of this is gonna be me talking about the country and the city mouse. So if you want me to talk about that, if you want to listen to that, then go ahead. Let me know your thoughts about the movie. But I'm gonna just do an analysis of the country and city mouse because I've been waiting for a moment to talk about one of Aesop's fables, because I think it's one of the shortest tales in Aesop's fables, but I love it so much. I'm going to talk about that. The story of the country and the city mouse is beautiful. It contains a tragedy so deeply human that it might as well be a mirror. On the surface, it's just a polite disagreement between two mice with different lifestyles. But beneath the politeness is this brutal metaphor about the prison of longing, a parable about the way we destroy our own peace in pursuit of someone else's idea of a better life. The country mouse isn't poor. He's not suffering. He has bread, beans, a roof, and quiet. But the moment he's shown something shinier, the seed of dissatisfaction is planted. The peace begins to rot. The city mouse doesn't show up to help. He shows up to gloat. He calls the country mouse lifestyle rough, dismisses his hospitality, and implies without saying it that it has to be simple. That it has to be simple. And it's pathetic. That's the tragedy right there. The country mouse wasn't unhappy until someone told him he should be. And isn't that exactly what happens in life? We're fine until comparison poisons that well. We feel full until someone whispers that we're starving. And that is the true tragedy to me of the Aesop's fable. I love it so much because of that dichotomy. So in the fable, if you don't know, the country mouse visits the city. He doesn't find luxury, he finds danger. Because in the city, it is dangerous. The opulence is real. Yes, there's cheese and sweets and shining silver platters, but every bite of good food is laced with fear. There are traps and predators, and the joys comes with conditions. And yet, this is the life the city mouse praises. A feast always under a threat. That is a paradise you can't rest in. It's not a celebration, it's a performance of wealth, one you must constantly survive to enjoy. And that is genuinely how life is. That's how it always is. The fable is not about food, it's about illusion. The city mouse is a symbol of modern temptation. It's the very reason why I find heaven so boring, the idea of heaven so boring. I love the UFC, I love WWE, I love fighting, I love violence. And without that, I feel as though my life would be lacking some deep, substantial reason to be here. The cult of success, the pressure to hustle, the worship of luxury is deeply ingrained in every single human in America. It's how we operate as human beings. It's how we work. It's how we strive for the next thing. And without that, that is heaven. All terrestrial desires gone. It's the world telling you that if you don't have more, you're less. And in the country mouse's idea, well, you just have yourself. It is the difference between somebody content with not living in the world of comparison, but the price is always invisible until you're in it. You trade calm for status, you trade safety for spectacle. You give up your own rhythm to dance to someone else's music, and half the time, they don't even like the song. And this is disgusting to me because it's exactly what I'm experiencing right now. Many of you don't know this. I have a job. I work in Amazon. And every day I go into work, people crowd me, ask me hundreds of questions about my success online, about my 300,000 subscribers on Instagram, my 500,000 on TikTok. They ask me all the time, oh, what's it like being big and famous? I'm still working. Doesn't matter. But I've achieved what they've sought for so long, and they can talk to me as if I'm a regular person. As if whenever I go in my Discord, people look at me and say, oh my God, I can't believe you're talking to us. I'm still a person, am I not? I'm still here. My status does not alienate me from being human. But to some people, it does. They believe they can attain godhood by achieving the life of the city mouse, by obtaining this opulence, this bigger desire, this bigger world. Why is that? Why? I think what hurts the most is how quickly this country mouse doubts himself. He never asked for this. He never needed to feel ashamed, but shame comes wrapped in compliments and smiles, like the city mouse inviting him into danger with charm and warmth. And the city mouse isn't evil. I don't think so. He's just been tricked himself. Same way I feel about people nowadays. I don't think people are evil. I think they've just been tricked. I think it's easy to be tricked by spectacle. He believes the stress is worth the sparkle. He's internalized the chaos and calls it sophistication, as if the grind is smart. But when the rats come and the dogs bark, the illusion cracks. The city isn't free. It's a cage lined with velvet, and the country mouse runs not because he's weak, but because he remembers what it feels like to eat in peace. And as someone who's never known peace, you crave it. Big issue I have in life is when people hear about what I've done in my life. I've spoken to homeless people. I've tried to swim across to Canada despite the currents being horrifying. I've done weird, wacky things. I've married a 90-year-old lady in my past. I have a grandfather who's wildly obsessed with femboys. I have done wild things. I stayed with a grand wizard. I stayed with a grand wizard for 2 weeks. And also stayed with a cyclops who is a recruiter for the Triple K Society. I've done wild things in my life. And people say, oh, your life must be crazy all the time. I don't want it to be. I wish to live like the country mouse. I wish for nothing to happen. I wish for a sense of deep normalcy forever. That's what I want. I want peace. I want to breathe without flinching. That is the fable's heartbeat, the realization that joy doesn't come from how much you have, but how safe you feel having it. And in a world addicted to more, that's a very revolutionary thought. People often want to be the city mouse because of the good food, because it's easier, because you get DoorDash. That's why. Aesop's fable is a tale of boundaries, of returning to yourself. The country mouse doesn't stay in the city. He doesn't try to adapt. He leaves. That's the real moral. He chooses to value peace over prestige. He decides that survival isn't a lifestyle, and in doing so, he reclaims his life. He doesn't convert the city mouse. He doesn't argue. He just walks away. That's very powerful. He doesn't grandstand. You see, despite everything I do, I will never truly grandstand you. I will offer my opinion, and you will offer yours, and I will stand doing as I do. And if you are still stressed in your life and I am at peace, we should not hate each other. And in my victory, even if I have the victory over you, it will be a lonely win. Because the fable leaves the city mouse behind. The one who stays. The one who insists the danger is worth the taste. That's the tragedy. Not everyone escapes the illusion. Some choose the noise. Some choose the fear because they've never known quiet. They've mistaken adrenaline for purpose. They built entire identities around struggle and labeled it ambition. And so the city mouse remains, still praising the cheese, still dodging death, still inviting others to share a meal he can't eat without shaking. That's not a villain. That's a victim of the same machinery that tells his wealth is everything and rest is laziness. He's not trying to hurt anyone. He just doesn't know another way to live, and that is Denji. That's what he knows. Adrenaline, fear. Aesop gives us no resolution in his tale. No reform, just a fork in the road. One mouse runs, one stays. One rejects the lie, the other clings to it. And that's life, isn't it? We have to choose which version of comfort we believe in. The flashy kind that always asks for more, or the humble kind that lets you sleep at night. And the fable, for all its brevity, leaves that choice in your hands. And I think that's what makes it so quietly devastating. It's not just a mouse story, it's your story. It's the moment you realize some dreams aren't yours. The clarity of knowing that survival isn't the same as living. That riches aren't riches, and that sometimes the bravest thing you can do is walk away from the table despite the deal being fervent and bountiful. That's what it is. I want to talk about Aesop's fable, and if you made it this far, listening to me ramble this entire way through, would like to tell you something very important. So there's going to be an ad right here. Now, usually you put an ad in the beginning of the video. Most YouTubers do that. They say, oh, here goes an ad break. I'm going to put an ad right here. Now, before I do this, I want to point out why I'm doing this. This is very important. Look at me. This is stupid. It's so dumb. Every time you sign up, or if you sign up, I get $6. Every person that, I don't care if you play the games, doesn't matter to me. Doesn't matter if you continue on. Doesn't matter if you think it's a scam. You can say it's a scam. I don't care. I get $6 every time someone signs up. You can delete it immediately after you sign up. Doesn't matter to me if you do that. I don't care. I get $6 every single time someone signs up. That $6 helps me in a lot of ways. I'll explain a few things going on in my life right now. My father is getting scammed by bots. Bots of the women variety. And he is happy and content with getting scammed by it. Just gave my car to my brother. That car was mine. It was $3,000. Had 80,000 miles on it. It was a 2007 Ford Focus SE 2-door. Gave him that car. Gave him that car because he needs it to get to work. I have a way to get to work because my wife has a car. Happy to get to work that way. Able to do that. My mother currently is relying on me for a little bit of financial support. That's why I have a job in the first place. So because of that, I am looking for ways to make money so I can give my mom a little bit of extra money. That's things that are going on in my life. I also have severe nerve damage in my back, and it's very hard to stand at specific angles. But I stand because I talk better when I stand. I'm not going to let nerve damage mess up my week, despite the fact that it does give a shooting pain down my back. Hurts like crazy. I've been dealing with it the entire video. It hurts. And that's why you see a few cuts in the video, because sometimes it gets too painful and I have to sit down. But I'm not a baby. I refuse to let that stop me from making a video because I love doing this. This is my passion. This is my joy. This is my arc. This is my Noah. And I want to gather all the animals and make something greater. Despite the flood coming from God and deciding to destroy us all, I am here to challenge his very wits, not even knowing that he didn't even inform me of the flood. I am just better and know because I pick up on context clues because I'm smart. So that's what I got here. So here goes the ad.
Hey, you actually stuck around for the ad? I'm so proud of you. Let me tell you what I'm pitching to you real fast. Here's something you can do when you're bored, playing games and getting paid for it. If you hit the link in the description or scan the QR code on the screen right now, you see that popping up right there? Look at that. It's so cool. It's so convenient. You can sign up to freecash.com and start right away. Now, I know your inclination to say this is a scam, but I assure you, I tried it myself. I thought it was a scam myself. Actually, I did actually try it out and it actually worked. I didn't expect to actually get paid, but I'm getting moolah, baby. It's simple. Create an account with your email and password. It takes seconds. Literal seconds. Inside, you'll see a wall of games, a bevy of things, and offers. Pick one you actually enjoy, play through levels, and cash lands straight into your free cash account. It's like turning your downtime into a side hustle without even noticing. Some people pull in $10 to $20 a day, but I've seen reports of much more moolah, Mr. Krabs. I've seen Scrooge McDuck numbers, and you can do this all while laying in your bedroom playing games on your phone. All they ask of you is that you spend your time playing the video games. They just want your time. Now, you could spend a little bucks in game to hit levels faster, which lets you unlock the bigger offers and payouts because you gotta hit the levels to get bigger payouts. That's how some users end up earning hundreds, even $500 or more on certain offers. It's crazy, but you don't have to spend anything. You can just stick to the free levels like I did and still cash out. The whole point is that instead of just sitting there scrolling endlessly through TikTok or Instagram Reels or YouTube Shorts or whatever, you're playing and earning at the same time. When it's time to cash out, you got options. You want to hit up PayPal, you want some gift cards, you can do whatever you want to. It's your decision. It's your world. I'm just living in it. So if you're curious, hit the link in my description or scan the code that's been on screen the entire time. You can just scan the code right there. You have the ability to just screen capture, scan the code, click the description. Make sure you do it through me, guys. Sign up for my link because I'm broke, guys. I'm doing this for the money, man. I got my family locked up. I'm begging you, please start playing for cash in your spare time. And when you use my link or QR code, you'll get a $5 bonus to kick things right off. So go ahead and get the free cash right now. Freecash.com is 0CV. You're not responsible for any bodily harm, any extra harm, anybody getting destroyed, anybody getting hit with a meteor, anybody getting hit with a natural disaster, anybody getting hit with the power of God, anybody with God's wrath, any thunder striking your body, anybody that actually has kids because of this, anybody that gains thousands of dollars, they do not use that in order to attack me or strike me and send drones to my house to destroy my entire body. I appreciate that. That'd be lovely. Thank you. I would appreciate that a lot. And if you could enjoy this, just use my link in the description. Like I said before, use the QR code. Go ahead and do that. Everything's bye. Okay, back to whatever I was talking about before. Thanks for sticking around after the ad. Hopefully you enjoyed my Chainsaw Man movie review. Pretty odd review, I imagine. Probably didn't expect all this in a movie review, but that's just how I run my channel. Didn't really matter to me. I'm gonna probably just finish reading Chainsaw Man at this point because, bye guys, it's gonna take a minute. Hopefully season 2 comes out soon. I've been excited because the only hint someone gave me was door, frog, Santa Claus. Those are the 3 hints I got from somebody at the movie theater, so excited for that. So bye. Thank you guys so much for checking out my content. If you like me or anything I say, please subscribe. It does help out a lot for the channel. Or comment or like or share the video. Whatever you wish to do. Doesn't really matter to me. Bye.